So, update, we made it to the end of the school day. My voice is not any worse. It's not necessarily better, but it's definitely not worse. It is not nearly as bad as yesterday. Yesterday we had like a 1 in 20 shot that words would actually come out of my mouth. Like we literally spent the entire day whispering. So like I was attempting to tell you this morning before my videos were really cut out. So I'm like looking over. This is like a weird angle to look at. Anyway, you can tell how sick somebody is by the amount of beverages they bring. So I had that cup full of orange juice, water, and then the thermos full of like a tea thing that I make when I get sick. Anyway, it must have been working because my voice is not worse. That's promising. Other update to the classroom, those baskets on top of the library. Now, let me move over so you can see. Contain like seasonal books. So those are read alouds that you could read again, books I like, books I picked out for them to read, so I can start putting up like seasonal books and stuff for them like that. We also today came up with a really great idea that I thought I would show you. So let me turn you around so you can see this. So we were having a really hard time with our volume today, being way too loud during centers. So one of my students actually came up with this idea. He's calling it the quiet box. So he wanted there to be 5 or 10 squares in there, but I don't want to give them that many chances. So there's 3 boxes in there, and what's going to happen is every time I have to remind them to be quiet, I'm just going to put one of these red sticky notes right in the box there. And if you fill up all 3 boxes, then you have to stay in from recess to practice being quiet. But if you don't, then you're good to go. So it's like a 3 strikes you're out, 3 strikes you're out of a couple minutes of recess to practice being quiet. Really huge celebration is about that is like a student came up with that. So I wrote down after we did centers all the things that I thought we needed to fix, all the different problems I thought we had. And I put them up on the backboard, and after we got back from lunch, we sat down and we went through every single problem and came up with the solution for all of them all together. And like I never would have thought of doing something like that, that quiet box thing, but that kid did, and it's brilliant and I love it. And so that's what we're gonna do. And that just goes to show you the power of like the democratic classroom type setup where you let the students be involved. Like these are kids that are 7 and 8 years old. I don't really expect them to really come up with a ton of solutions, and more often than not, I tell them what my idea is and they either agree or we do it anyway. But this time, like a student actually came up with something really good, and I was really proud of them, and I want to use it. I think that's awesome. Tomorrow, I'm going to be switching my class jobs for the first time this year. So it's 3 weeks of students being on the same jobs. And so far, we haven't even had that many complaints. Like, it's not been an issue. But it's time to let some new kids try it out. Part of me, now that I'm saying that, is thinking maybe I should just wait 1 more week and let it be like a month-long thing. But I don't know. So anyway, if I do end up switching them tomorrow, I'm gonna have the kids train each other on how to do it, because like they've learned kind of the ins and outs of their job, and I don't even know all the ins and outs because I can't watch every single person do their job, like the way the kids sharpen the pencils and stuff. I don't know, somehow they get it done every time. It works out okay. So I'm gonna have them train each other on that. So that's gonna be awesome. Last thing, I'm sorry, I know that me talking right now is not a pleasant sound for your ears, but I do want to tell you one last story. So let me set this down so I can have a better angle. Anyway, so one of the things that I did last year that went really, really well that I have done again this year is close to the beginning of the year, I sent home a little email for every single student with something nice about them, something they're doing well. Even if it was like a super, your kid is such a sweetheart, I'm excited to see where they get to this year. Like even if it was a super baseline compliment, I wanted to send home something nice about every student. It's just good for the parents to feel like you're in their corner. So then if you do ever have to make a negative contact, it's okay. Well, my plan was thwarted this year because I had to send an email home to 3 parents about negative things before I could send home all my positive notes. But last night I finished writing up my positive notes and I sent them all out. I got like 8 or 9 emails from parents that told me that that note home made their day. And like, it wasn't that hard for me to put it together. Some kids were more in depth than others because some kids had more nice things to say about, and that's okay. Like they didn't see anybody else's, so it doesn't really matter. But gosh, that made a huge difference to those parents to know that I'm noticing their kid and the things that they're good at, and I'm there for them. And it also just opens up the line of communication for them to be like, awesome, so glad they're doing well. Let me know if there's anything I can do. So if you haven't done something like that yet, do it. Send a nice note home for every single one of your students. If you're not a teacher, maybe make a nice note for some of your coworkers. It totally makes somebody's day for you to compliment them. And it really is kind of fun for you to think about all the good things that somebody's doing. So make an effort to do that. It really makes a huge difference. Okay, I promised that was the last thing, but one more thing. If you're like me and you drop everything on the floor when you're trying to show it to somebody, hopefully you're not like me, and you have piles like this fat of flashcards to cut out, do not cut them out yourself. Every mom ever is happy to cut them out while she's watching TV. So don't be like me and spend hours and hours cutting out copies of things. Be like second year me who has figured out to send these home to parents. So I've got them printed out. I just attach like any materials like a baggie onto here for them. And since I dropped this page isn't on front anymore. But then I just make a little note with the instructions that says thanks and tells them exactly what they need to do. So like for these ones, they're going to cut out the flashcards, put the set in the bag, and then return them all to me. I just send it home with the student. The parents cut it out for me. It's beautiful. So if you don't do something like that already, take advantage of your parent volunteers. Also, if you have any ideas for what to do with parents when they come into the classroom, let me know, because I have a lot of parents who want to come help, and I have no idea what to have them help with. So tips and tricks for that are much appreciated. This is totally not teaching related, but can we talk about how fast my nails grow? Like, do you see that huge gap right there? I haven't even had these on for 2 weeks yet. Where's the camera? Look at that. I don't know if my students can tell, but I feel like my nails are turning super ratchet. I'm starting to like point to things under the document camera or even on here, and I'm like, ugh. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to invest in upkeep or just quit it altogether. I kind of feel pretty fancy with like fancy nails, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go home and chug some more orange juice, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to talk a little bit better, and hopefully we won't have as many pull you out in the hallway and talk about why you shouldn't kick each other at recess or fight each other by the drinking fountain. You know, one day kids will learn, but today was not that day. Anyway, hope you have an awesome day as well. Subscribe for more adventures and videos. I still hate myself for saying that. Anyway, see ya.